All right, I have just fired up a match on the 5070 Ti, then we will do a match on the 9070 XT. We'll try to load into the same map, so it's at least somewhat like-for-like comparisons, but keep in mind that due to the variable nature of online gameplay, the things we're doing in the match, what the opponents are doing in the match, it is not going to be a perfectly matched like-for-like experience no matter what we do. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the settings that we're using here. Right now I'm at Ultra settings, although I think right now DLSS is turned on. Let's turn DLSS off for now. So right now we're gonna be at native resolution, and we'll start out with 1440p resolution, as I think that that is a pretty common choice for this class of GPUs. So 1440p, native resolution, Ultra settings. Let's start there. Hitting on the frame rate averages with a bunch of destruction and whatnot going on in this town area here. Looks like we're around 135 FPS. Now I'm gonna get out and attempt to actually help my team. We'll see how that goes. Always hard to pay attention to actually playing the game while we are staring at frame rate counters and such, but you know, it is what it is. Okay. Did we win? Okay. All right, what are we around? Around 140 FPS average so far, Ultra settings, 1440p. Now, in this game, it's incredibly important to also discuss what's going on with the CPU. So, I have a Ryzen 9800, oh, that's an enemy. He should have killed me there. Maybe he thought I was a teammate? I don't know, he shot my teammate here probably. Oh, bad guy. What is that guy doing? Okay, well, he killed me anyway. So that gives me a chance to talk. So we're on the 9800X3D here, which is one of the highest end gaming CPUs on the market. Game by game it varies, and I haven't seen 100% whether or not some of like the Intel CPUs would be slightly faster in this game because they have a lot of cores, that kind of thing. But the point is, the idea here is to pair them with a really high-end CPU so that we're measuring GPU performance, not just CPU performance. However, this game performs so well on GPUs and is so demanding on CPUs that it's possible that we are going to end up being CPU limited depending on the, man, I got sniped, depending on the exact settings that we're using here. So at native 1440p, Ultra settings, we are mostly GPU limited here, not CPU limited, but as we start to do things like use DLSS, it'll relieve the burden on the GPU, and we could start to become CPU limited. Now that can still be interesting in a GPU comparison, because sometimes, like AMD GPUs sometimes use less driver overhead on the CPU, and so sometimes can reach, that's an enemy, higher frame rates on the CPU limited performance, that kind of thing. So could still be interesting, but for now let's get a little more native 1440p Ultra performance here before we adjust anything. Maybe switch on deaths, something like that. Do you have any enemies in the area? I've not really been paying attention to the game very much. Okay, looks like my team's losing. Not super badly yet. We're capturing the point. That's an enemy. Okay, yeah, I should probably pay a little bit of attention while we play. But you know what? In the meantime, while I die, how about we change some graphics settings? Let's go to upscaling turned on, but we'll start out with DLSS Quality. So we're now 1440p Ultra settings, but with DLSS Quality. Let me spawn in on my team here. And we'll reset the frame rate averages. Around 200-ish FPS right now dropping to about 175, 170. Let me stop staring at the frame rate counter for a second and play the game. You guys can watch the frame rate counter. How's that? Okay. I think there's an enemy right here. Yep. Is he gonna pop up? Enemy right there. I have like an SMG though. I think I picked the, am I an engineer right now? I have not really even paid attention to what I'm doing when I started up the game, because we are benchmarking. Still get that guy though. All right. 164 FPS so far. Again, looks like we are primarily GPU limited still. In the top right corner of the screen in green, I'm getting shot while I talk. In the top right corner of the screen in green. You might need to pinch to zoom if you're on mobile, though. I didn't see any obvious way to increase the text size. It's the in-game performance metrics. And one thing I really like is it can tell you by the GPU and the CPU how many milliseconds it's taking to compute a frame. So right now it's showing like GPU is taking like 5.6 milliseconds to compute a frame, whereas the CPU is taking more like 4 milliseconds or so to compute a frame. You know, it varies. The point is that we can tell the CPU is still computing frames faster than the GPU, so we are still GPU limited primarily. Oh, there was a guy right there, wasn't there? Anyway, but I'm looking at the milliseconds, guys. That's the important thing. Hope my teammates aren't too frustrated. They should be. I would be mad. Anyway, so what were we saying here? Yeah, so we can still tell that we are mostly GPU limited, and the so we can probably push a little bit farther if we use more aggressive DLSS settings. So I think that might be the next thing that we try out here. So I'm gonna hide for a second, try not to get killed while I do it. So let's go ahead and use even more DLSS. We're gonna go down to DLSS Balanced. So we're Ultra settings, 1440p monitor, but DLSS Balanced being the only concession we're making here. Actually got a kill there. Look at me go. And yeah, it looks like we're pushing in closer to the 200 FPS mark, more like 195 or so. Looks like there's an enemy in there. Where'd he go? Where'd he go, guys? Ah, I'm getting shot. I don't know where he went. Okay, I'm dead. I should probably like find a team squad, like push with them, pay some sort of attention, but you know, we're benchmarking, guys. Okay, let's spawn in here. Seems to be stuff going on. Okay, so again, we're still Ultra settings DLSS Balanced. I'm getting sniped, 185-ish frames per second though, so at least there's that. Can I spawn in on him? All right. Where are the bad guys? Where are the bad guys? Still averaging around 186. It does go up to 200 or so at times. Got that guy at least. I think I see a sniper across the way there, but I've got an SMG. Probably not the best way to try to take him out. Oh well. Throw a grenade at him. Oh, I actually got him, didn't I? Okay. Look at me go! Oh man, okay. Are there enemies that way? Team's getting kinda wrecked here, aren't we? It's certainly not my fault. I'm changing graphics settings. Don't blame me. Okay, I thought that was an enemy there, but apparently there was another enemy on the other side. Let's go down to DLSS Performance mode. So we're still Ultra settings, but DLSS Performance mode. Curious if we end up CPU limited now. It's at least going to be pretty balanced between the two. Let's spawn in and take a closer look at that. Also, at some of the city maps, I think you get CPU limited a little bit earlier. CPU still seems to be computing frames faster than the GPU, if I can see those milliseconds a little bit. Okay. So we're still mostly GPU limited here at around 200 frames. Ah, there's a whole bunch of enemies there. I was not paying attention. Okay, apparently my grenade helped. All right. I think there's a sniper peeking me. Can I get him? No? Ah, getting shot from somewhere. Where are they at? Where are they at? Okay, I'm dead. All right, yeah, seems like 200 frames per second or so if we go into the DLSS Performance mode at the Ultra settings. Now, before we change these settings, how about we change the actual monitor resolution for a second? So what we're gonna do next is say, so what if I was actually playing the game on a 4K display? So this is 4K Ultra settings, but I am gonna leave it on DLSS Performance mode. So we are on Performance mode DLSS, but on a 4K display. Just in case you're on a 4K display, but you're, you know, playing competitive games, you want to shoot for high frame rates, but still have things look really, really good with the ultra settings. So it's looking like we're around, what, 140-ish FPS? There's an enemy. I should probably pay some sort of attention. Okay. Oh, sniper definitely looking down the way at me here. Got him. Wasn't the sniper though, I'm sure. Still getting peeked. Okay. But yeah, looking like 140-ish FPS. By the way, as just more of a random side note, a lot of people say that, like, you know, if the gameplay footage you're watching doesn't look smooth, look at the frame time graph to judge the smoothness, not the actual video footage itself. This is an external capture card, so we're not affecting the PC we're running on, and it captures at 60 frames per second. But we're obviously not going to be using VSync to match up the footage to the capture rate, because that would limit the frame rate to 60 frames per second. The whole point right now is we are benchmarking the performance of the game. So if we're benchmarking the performance of the game, we don't want to limit it to match it up to the capture rate, but that means that things can look kind of choppy because things aren't synced up. You know, the gameplay output isn't synced up to the capture rate. That was dumb of me. Too busy talking. So the point is that the footage can look kind of choppy, but if you want to judge how smooth it is, look at the frame time graph. And overall, this game does have very smooth frame times, which is good, as long as, you know, your hardware is up to what you're asking it to do. Now, that being said, I think what I'd like to do next is kind of go down to, what if we were on a 1080p display, but we were trying to play at native resolution? So let's go to 1080p, but we're not going to be at performance mode DLSS anymore. Let's turn DLSS off. So we're back to native rendering, but on a 1080p display, because I think a lot of people playing competitive games might still buy a high-end GPU and CPU in order to have you know, a high frame rate competitive experience here. So that's what we're looking at here. Looks like we are over 200 frames per second. That's an enemy there. I'm not sure quite what he was thinking, just crawling out in the open there, but all right. I guess he thought he had cover from the other direction. Okay, that's a vehicle. I do have an RPG, because I'm an engineer. Let me see if I can do anything to assist my team with this. Did that not hit? Oh, is the vehicle already destroyed? All right, guess my help is not needed. I mean, we're losing badly, so maybe my help could be needed, but it's just not enough. I don't think that frag will get there. Okay, saw him right there. Oh, that's my teammate. Okay, there's one back here. Where are they at? There's one. Where am I getting hit from? Ah, right there it looks like. So yeah, it's looking like close to 200 FPS playing at 1080p native at ultra settings. Now, the next thing I want to look at is what if we actually lower the graphics settings? Now, I do want to be clear that not every setting applies without a game restart. So this is not going to be exactly low settings. You could go, but most of the low settings do apply without a restart, and you can see performance did definitely go up. By the way, going to the low settings does reduce the burden on both the GPU and the CPU. So actually right now we are appearing to be CPU limited, because you can see the GPU usage is only around 90-ish% or so, and if you look at the frame times in milliseconds, the CPU and the GPU are pretty close. So it's using a lot of both, but depending on the exact moment, we can be CPU limited or GPU limited. So there's a little bit of both going on. Looks like we're around 260 frames per second, but there's not a lot of happening here. Looks like I kind of, well, I wasn't paying attention. The fight moved elsewhere. Let me pay a little more attention to gameplay again for a second, see if we can get into some combat and whatnot. Some shots being fired here. Enemy. Ah, definitely got taken out. Well, there was some combat. Anyway, let's go ahead and respawn, do a little bit more at the 1080p low settings here before we move on. By the way, also, without the game restart, I'll do the same thing when we do the 9070 XT, so it'll at least be matched that way, where we start the game at ultra settings and then switch to low in-game. So it'll at least be a matched, matched in that sense. This would probably be a good map to be recon with a sniper or something, but let's just stick to the engineer. I think there's enemies in this house. Watch out, my dude. They're probably camping here. Maybe not. I don't know. Where are they at? Can we jump up on the roof? Maybe not. Oh, that's an enemy right there. I don't know how I missed that, but okay. Somehow we got him. I'm in the zone, aren't I? Okay, let's pay attention to game for a second to try to stay alive here. I will help my team capture Alpha. Probably. Okay. Looks like enemies coming in down there. Movement of some kind, anyway. Yeah, looking like, yeah, 260-ish FPS or so. Let's hide and change graphic settings. Okay, so let's go back up to 1440p, but remember we're now at low graphic settings. So this is 1440p low, but native resolution. Looks like we're close to 200 FPS, a little bit under it. Let's see what happens as we move into some more gameplay. Let's move towards a contested point. Probably just gonna get sniped running down here though, aren't I? Probably need some cover. All right, let's move in with the tank. Ah, they're gonna snipe me. Need some cover. Get in the cover. Go in the rocks. I am getting sniped. I am dead. Okay, it looked like we were around 200 frames per second on the low settings with DLSS off. Let's now go to DLSS, but we'll start out with quality mode. So low settings, 1440p DLSS quality, and we'll spawn in and see what that does performance-wise. I guess I could spawn in here. All right, low settings, DLSS quality, 1440p output. There's an enemy there, but apparently there was a sniper behind me. So that's that. Let's get maybe a little bit more gameplay on those settings. Is this guy under fire here? What's going on? Looks like I got a bunch of my dudes coming out this way. Let's follow them. Okay. I think I saw an enemy getting up on this ridge, though. I'm getting shot from behind. Oh, bunch of enemies here. Okay, get out. Run! Okay. It looks like I got a double kill, though, so at least there's that. All right, let's change the graphics settings. Going down to balanced mode DLSS, keeping an eye on the game though. If I'm just playing one match, we can't spend too long on any other settings here if we want to make sure we get through all the resolutions. Let's, I can't spawn in here. My team is getting absolutely wrecked. Oh, I'm in a vehicle now. Excellent. Not for long though, we're dead. Okay, all right. That was mission accomplished, guys. Spawn right in there and yeah, that was great. Okay, looks like there is some sort of battle going on here. What is happening? Are there any enemy vehicles? That's the first question. Don't think so. Grenade! All right, got him. Okay, pushing in on the point. Yeah, it looks like we're mostly CPU limited at this point, to be honest. I should probably... Why am I looking at the frame... I'm looking at the GPU usage percentage while I'm in the battle there. Jeez. Okay, we'll try out DLSS Performance mode at 1440p here at the low settings. Is anybody going to revive me? No revives? They're overlooking my corpse with a sniper anyway, so it was a trap. Probably best they didn't. Okay, let's spawn in here. Got the vehicle, pushing in. Okay, I'm gonna get sniped. Yeah, that guy's gonna snipe me. Okay, this is not looking good, guys. It's not looking good. Yeah, overall frame rates didn't go much up because on DLSS Performance mode, since we are pushing into CPU limits even on the 9800X3D. So I think what we're gonna do next is switch over to 4K resolution. And, wait, where do we do that? Here we go. 4K output resolution, but we are still on DLSS Performance. So, 4K DLSS Performance on low settings. Got him. Oh, sniper. Ah, but there was more over there. Didn't work out so well. Okay, right, so 4K low settings DLSS Performance. Looks like we were around 160 FPS there. Let's see if we can get anything else going on. Oh, I'm right in the tank. I am shooting the tank. Okay, I don't usually play in the vehicles myself here, but guess I should probably fulfill my role for the team. Or I could get out and let somebody else do it. Are we, I think there was possibly somebody in that corner. Somebody over here. Man, I'm not very good at this. That's an enemy, though. Enemy vehicle. Enemy infantry. More enemy vehicles. I don't like being in the vehicle. I should probably just get out. Okay. Alright, am I even doing much damage with this thing? Probably. Can't see anything through the smoke. There we go. Okay, that thing got taken out. Pretty sure there's an enemy right here, though. Okay. We are destroyed. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just die there. We have maybe a few lives left to check out just a little bit more stuff. How about we go to DLSS Quality rather than Performance mode at 4K. I'll just spawn in over here. So, low settings, DLSS Quality 4K output. Looks like we're around 148 FPS or so. Bum, bum. Where are the enemies at? There's an enemy. I did not get him. Got him. All right, pushing in. There's one. Ah, I'm dead. Okay, now let's take a look at native 4K, I guess, since we still have another second. Wait, graphics. Wait, no, I need to go to advanced and turn off the DLSS. That's what we're doing here. So this is native 4K at low settings, at least the low settings that apply without a restart. That was an enemy right there. That's an enemy right there. This one seems a little more urgent. Where do you go? I'm gonna play Ring Around the Rosie here, running around the bushes. There he is. Okay, I died. Okay, that was not my finest moment. All right, how many lives do we have left here? 50. Okay, we'll play this out here. See what our native 4K performance is. By the way, okay, so we're getting like around 120 FPS at native 4K. Granted, it's the lower settings, but they don't look bad or anything. So really, this game, I would say, is quite well optimized, especially on the GPU side of things. And then, I mean, really the CPU too. Like, you have a tendency to be more CPU limited in the game, performance-wise, but I don't think that means it's unoptimized on the CPU. It's just that there's, you know, a lot of players and everything and a lot of physics and whatnot, which just takes a lot of CPU resources. It does a good job of actually using a large amount of CPU resources, so it's utilizing the CPU really well. Where was he? There he is. More here. Saw one through there. Ah, sniped, of course. All right. Well, I think that we are just about at the end here, so we'll play it out. And I'm about to get sniped again. More snipers. Oh no, 18 lives left. Try to survive. Still around 120 FPS though on the 4K low settings native. Pretty good. Definitely want to think about your CPU, even on these, you know, it's not like only a 5090 is going to be maxing out the, is that an enemy or is he already dead? I think he's already dead. It's not like only a 5090 is going to max out the 9800X3D here though. We saw, and like I said, other maps I think can get even more CPU limited than this one. All right, 9 lives, 8 lives, 7 lives. Let's call it the end here. I'm gonna switch over to a 9070 XT. Finally, I've been trying to queue up for Ridge 13 so much so we could do the same map in both tests. Oh my goodness, it finally happened. You guys have no idea, and every time I kept quitting out of a game to try to get a Ridge 13, it would like, I think because the servers are overloaded, it would like struggle connecting to the menu or something, and I have to restart the game, and then it would take forever to wait in the like 150,000 person queue to get back in. Anyway, the point is, it's been a long time since I did the 5070 Ti part of this video. We're now on the 9070 XT. We're gonna play the match on Ridge 13 once again. And we are, again, not be able to do a perfect apples to apples comparison. We can play at similar settings, but, you know, the exact gameplay at each setting is going to be different, so it is what it is. The overall PC is still the 9800X3D and all of that, so that's at least matched, and we should be at, I will double check, Ultra settings, yes, and at 1440p native resolution, once again double checking that. We are at 1440p, and then going to the advanced tab, we can see that upscaling is turned off. Now, unfortunately, I have noticed that FSR 4 is not currently available in this game. Now, this is just a beta, so hopefully the final release will have FSR 4. Right now, we're checking out native resolution, though, and the good news is it seems like the 9070 XT is powerful enough to just run this game at native max settings 1440p, and most people would be pretty happy with the performance here. Looks like we're around 147 FPS average as I'm speaking. And now I'm going to speak slightly less, although no promises, and attempt to actually participate in the battle now that we found some enemies. All right. Is that vehicle blown up yet? I'm actually gonna... I don't know why I bothered to shoot the rocket at the individual guys standing there, but I'm about to get sniped, aren't I? Ah, run away, run away, run away. Oh, didn't make it. Okay, so that guy tracked me down. Are there any teammates nearby? Does not look to be the case. Okay, so yeah, it's looking like we average about 142 FPS on that life, at least, at those settings. Let's go ahead and try out some upscaling, though. We're going to go to FSR Quality. Once again, I will show that the FSR 4 is not available in the driver, and I'm not going to try to use something like Optiscaler to mod it in like I would in a single-player game. Games with anti-cheat are going to be at your own risk if you want to use something like Optiscaler to add in FSR 4, because that can get detected as modifying game files and be detected as a cheat. So that's certainly a downside right now. I will say that the FSR 3 implementation doesn't look awful here or anything. Frame rates are up. Around 180 FPS. Okay, where are they at? Got a frame time spike right there. Okay, trying to actually take the point. Looks like there's one enemy left. Oh, I died. Okay, let's get rezzed. Not gonna res me, huh? Oh, well. Okay. Wait, there it is. Let me get my squad mate here. Oh, is he already rezzed or did he die? Well, whatever. Okay, we captured C. That's the important thing. What is all that shooting from? Do we have a vehicle over there? No, that's just an enemy sniper or something. I'm gonna go down this way. The enemy have taken Delta, guys. We better go save him. That guy was probably changing graphic settings like me. Alright, enemy there as well. Okay. Managed to string a few kills together, guys. Better not look at the frame rate counter and ruin things. Except I'm gonna look. It's 173. Okay. Did not get that kill, and there's the death. See, as soon as I look at that frame rate counter. Alright, let's go ahead and go to FSR Balanced. Again, FSR 3, I would not usually want to push that hard. Doesn't tend to look amazing. Am I going to get rezzed here? Does not look that way. But, you know, oftentimes in competitive stuff, we're really just looking for the performance, and we can deal with some blurriness, I guess. Again, really hope we get FSR 4 in the official release, though. Or in an AMD driver, maybe, when the game actually launches. 180 FPS-ish right now. Let's move into Delta and see how it goes with more action happening. 107. Okay, that explosion certainly took a hit to performance there for a second. Okay, is it not safe to revive? There's a dude. Can I do it with the grenade out? Maybe? Yes, okay. Saved my dude. Okay, oh no! I got knifed. Good chance to change the graphic settings. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of FSR Performance mode, FSR 3 Performance mode especially at 1440p output, but we're gonna do it. And we are also going to capture B. Except I'm probably gonna die here. Wait, are there no enemies? Are we okay? Wait, it says one enemy on the site, right? That's what that, starting to learn the UI. Guys, I don't play a lot of Battlefield. Okay. Where is he? Where are we getting shot from? Where? Where was it? I don't know. I do not know. Must have been in the building. Okay, am I gonna get rezzed? Okay. All right, we're here. We're gonna get Bravo, guys. Gonna get Bravo. Overall performance, what are we at? 178 average right now. We have captured B. I'm about to get sniped. They're about to take B. I'm not gonna survive this, am I? Okay. Oh no. Okay. Alright, we are gonna change graphic settings. So I think that we're gonna go down, well actually let's go up to 4K resolution, but we'll start out by staying at the FSR Performance mode. So this is 4K output resolution, but using FSR in Performance mode. Oh, wish this was actual FSR 4. This does look a little bit blurry with FSR 3. Got some guys right there. All right. Can I get my guy? This is not safe. That is definitely not safe. Oh, yep, snipers on the hill. Okay. Performance mode is looking reasonable though. I mean, performance-wise, maybe not the output looking a little blurry there. Can I spawn in here? Okay, it looks like there's an enemy vehicle, and I think there were snipers up on this hill, weren't there? Let's see what we can do. 138 FPS as I peek at the frame rate counter. Probably not the best idea. Oh yeah, there's that. Okay. I do have the rocket. I did not survive trying to peek it. Okay, so 140 frames per second there. Now, I'm going to back off on the upscaling a little bit, though, just because, yeah, FSR 3 performance mode, not going to be my favorite. So we're going to go down to balanced here. Spawn in on this guy. Reset the frame rate counter. Okay, balanced mode, we're at 130 frames per second. Alright, let's try to capture D and see what happens. I'm getting shot at. Somebody over there. Multiple somebodies right there. Oh! My grenade bounced off that thing. Help! Okay. Lots of enemies right there. That is not a good thing. Okay, we're gonna suppressive fire. Okay, we got vehicle moving in to help. That's good. Okay. Captured D. Look at that, guys. I am actually helping the team, possibly. Okay, let's go to FSR Quality. Now, FSR 3 Quality tends to look reasonably okay on a 4K output. Looks a lot sharper than the more aggressive settings did. Move in here, see if I can help my teammate. Oh no. Did I get him? Oh, okay. He's already gone. All right, let's push into Bravo. Getting over 100 FPS with the FSR Quality. And again, this is the Ultra settings, so certainly usable here. Let's see, is this safe? This is probably not safe. We're gonna try it anyway. Oh, okay, we rezzed him. Look at that. Where are the enemies? Okay, we're getting the cap. Okay, I'm dead. Was it the helicopter? What was that? I don't know. Request a revive. There's a medic right there, isn't there? Okay, there we go. Alright. 100 and some FPS. Okay, let's switch over to 4K native resolution while we hide in the building, except I just realized I'm standing up by a window, aren't I? I'm probably gonna get shot in the head. That's okay. So FSR is now off, so this is 4K native resolution. I did finally get shot. And maybe I'll get rezzed? Am I gonna get rezzed? Oh, he's not a medic and he's not in my squad, right? Here's a squad mate. Okay, here we go. Looks like we're getting 74 FPS so far, 4K Ultra. Oh, there's a sniper on the ridge there. Yep. There was definitely a sniper on the ridge there. Okay, let's spawn in again, because we weren't actually outside of the building very long for that. Looks like Delta's under attack. Maybe I'll go assist over there. Yeah, getting 83 FPS so far average at 4K Ultra Native. I probably should have waited a second before I shot at that guy. Gotten better position for my SMG. That's okay. I'm at least distracting them from assisting on the Delta capture, right? Okay, where are they at? There he is. Okay, well, traded. I got some squad mates there. Maybe they'll get me. All right, we're going to go ahead and change graphic settings again. This time we're going to drop down to 1080p resolution. So if you are on 1080p Ultra settings, looks like we'll have to respawn. Then we'll find out what it looks like. All right, let's move in with the tank. All right, 1080p Ultra. Ah, I am dead very quickly there. Looks like we're getting about 166 frames per second. Is this anywhere reasonable for somebody to res me? Potentially, maybe. Help. Help. 168 FPS. Okay, teammates here. All right, I am back. My vehicles are getting destroyed. I'm getting sniped. That was Definitely worth the revive, I'm sure. Okay, yeah, it looks like we're getting around 168 FPS at those settings. So that's ultra settings tested out pretty well. So now we're going to go down to the low settings. Why is it not? Okay, that's weird. Okay, oh, maybe do I need to spawn in or something? That was weird. It was like not letting me adjust the graphic settings here. There we go. Low settings. Once again, not everything applies. Looks like we're capping out at 240. Almost feels like VSync is on, but VSync is off. That's weird because I'm on a 240 hertz display. Let me actually double check that. That feels it because that flatlining at 240 seems suspicious. Okay, we are VSync off, and in the advanced settings, frame rate limiter is off. I know that in the AMD driver, I don't have VSync turned on or anything like that. So, okay. Don't know why, but we are getting shot. I know why I'm getting shot. That's because I'm not paying attention. But I don't know why I am getting capped at 240. That feels like that's kind of VSync or frame rate limit related rather than... like it seems too flat for a... for it just to be CPU limited there. So yeah, that's really strange. Anyway, it looks like we can get it at least 240 FPS, but for some reason it is going to be capping us out there at 240. Anyway, let's move on to 1440p native resolution, but at the low settings, or at least as many of the low settings as apply without a restart. Where should I help out here? Let's pop in on my teammate over here, maybe? Not letting me spawn in on him. We come in on the vehicle. All right, so we're at 1440p native resolution, low settings, at least as many as apply on a reset. I mean, without a reset. Looks like we're at around 204 frames per second average so far. Okay, is that a light? Is that just a light on the building? It looks an awful lot like the scope flash they give you when people aim down sights at you. I don't know. But we've got 4 people in the sight, it looks like. Capturing it. That's an enemy. Throw the frag, see if that helps. I don't know. Damage assist. Okay. We got F. Look at that. Okay. So what are we at? 200-ish FPS for native resolution. Let's look like going FSR quality. So low settings FSR quality. And once again, it looks like it's just capping us out to 240. That's really strange. You guys saw me double check. VSync is not activated, and neither is the frame rate limit. I don't have anything active in the AMD control panel either. So all I can say is that is weird. But hey, at least we can cap out to 240, so another reason to not maybe directly compare frame rate with the 5070 Ti if it was getting above 240 here, as we are encountering some sort of strange technical issue. And I am getting shot. There's a guy right there. Probably should have paid attention. But that is the story of me benchmarking while playing, isn't it? There's a vehicle here. Should I just give up? I should probably just give up. All right. So yeah, it looks like we can get 240-ish FPS. It does average a little bit lower. Can I come in on a teammate here? Anything? Let's do this. Okay. Let's push into Delta, a little under 240 now. So it caps out at 240. We would probably be averaging a little higher if it didn't. But it certainly does dip below, so we're not getting it limited too much by that. All right. There's like, wait, am I disconnecting? Look at that. Am I disconnecting, or is that just this guy? There it is. So I guess that is going to be the end of that. Session timed out while trying to disconnect. All right, well, we tested out most of the relevant settings, and it was starting at these lower settings and more aggressive upscales to hit the 240 FPS, which for some reason it was capping out at. Hopefully you guys found the video useful and or interesting. I could do more Battlefield 6 testing. Let me know if there's any interest in that. I've already made a lot of videos with the 1060, 2060, 3060 all together. I've done a 5090 video. I've done, let's see, 3080 and 6800 XT on a weaker CPU with the Ryzen 5 5600. Anyway, let me know if there's interest in more GPUs or CPUs being tested, and I hope all of you have an excellent day.